Unit 2 test. And so the best way to prepare for that is practice some questions. Now, you might have practiced a lot of questions over half term yourself. If you have happened to do this one, then please photograph it, upload it, and then you can get on with some free choice revision for the rest of the hour. But otherwise, I want you doing the unit test for chapter 2 today. Before I set you off to do it, I'm going to tell you a few ways you can get help if you are stuck. Obviously, you can ask me in the chat, but you might want to figure some things out for yourself, or you might want to do some work at some time where I'm not available in the chat. So I'm going to show you two different places. The first place is the textbook itself. So let's imagine you get stuck on expanding and simplifying. So if you go back in the textbook, just flip through some pages until you get to the expanding chapter. And then you can see here's a worked example. It tells you what to do step by step. It's got a key point on the site. It tells you I'm going to be doing the red arrow first, x times x makes x squared. Then I'm going to do the blue arrow, x times 4, 4x, 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 4, 8. Combine the 4x and the 2x to make 6x, and you've got your answer. You can remember just the way the arrows go. You could remember the smiley face method, where you arrange the arrows in such a way it makes a smiley face. You could also remember FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. And whichever way you do it, here's your worked example to help you with that one. So you might have done those ones, and then you might get stuck on the next one here, which is finding the nth term of the sequence. Okay, it's a quadratic sequence. You might not remember how to do that. So if you look back in the book, so this is the chapter on sequences, and if you scroll through, you can find another worked example. It takes you through all the steps, finding the difference, finding the second difference, what that means, then writing out the sequence, subtracting it, and figuring out what the whole sequence is. Okay, so there's help there as well. You might get through all the sequences stuff, and then you might get stuck on your factorizing. Can't remember how to factorize, so let's again have a look back in the textbook, factorizing chapter, and you've got a worked example. Again, you're looking for two numbers that add to make 7 and multiply to make 10. They're 5 and 2, so they're the ones that go in the bracket. It reminds you how to do that. Okay, so it's helpful for all of that stuff on there. And another place you could get some help is My Maths. So if you have a look on My Maths, you can hopefully log on. If you choose algebra, there's a lot of different things here. So algebraic manipulation. Within there, you've got brackets. So this is expanding double brackets. You've got factorizing quadratics, 1. You've got factorizing quadratics, 2. Okay, so there's two different things you can do there. The other things we had on the test were solving quadratic equations. So you can see here, equations quadratic, and solving equations by factorizing. Okay, you only want to stick to solve quadratic equations 1, because quadratic equations 2, we haven't got to that bit yet. We're not going to do that this year. And then the other thing on the test was sequences. So click on sequences. Wait for the computer to work. And you've got quadratic sequences here. So you've got the lessons if you want to get it explained to you step by step, because you perhaps missed a lesson or you don't understand it. And you've got the homeworks if you want to practice some questions. I don't have to set the homeworks for you to do them. You can just click on them and do them anyway. Okay, so have a go at as much of this exercise as you can. And at any point you get stuck and you can't sort it out because you've tried looking back in the book, you've tried looking on My Maths, you can't find the answer to what you're looking for, ask in the chat. Hopefully I'll be around to help, or if not, perhaps somebody else will. And do as much as you can. And then a couple of minutes before the end of the lesson, photograph, check what you have done with the answers. The answers are going to be attached, and then upload what you've done. And remember that if you do a RAG rating, and if you let me know as part of a comment what you're finding difficult, then I can perhaps help you out with your revision. Okay, so that's it for today.